channel. My name is Marie, and today's video is about my implantation, and then I'm gonna be recording tomorrow after I find out if it worked or not, so I'm gonna add that on to the end of this video. But before I get started, I do want to mention, yes, I know my eyebrows look crazy. They're like extra bushy and super dark looking because I'm trying not to pluck them, and it's been a month. And if you follow me on Instagram, you see that I made my own like eyebrow serum, and every day I'm posting a picture of, well, I've missed a day here and there, but I'm posting pictures of like the growth and everything. And I have very thin eyebrows, but they're very densely packed. So I've been trying to kind of let them grow and maybe make them a little thicker looking like they did when I was younger. The left one's going well, the right one not so much. It's like you get 3 extra hairs, left one's like bush. That's another video though. So let's get into the implantation. So last week, Wednesday, August 29th, I went in for my implantation, and I got up that morning. I was like, okay, the Monday before I was like, oh, you know, I should go to the chiropractor in the morning. But it was kind of after they closed when I thought of that. And Tuesday they're not open, so I didn't call and make an appointment. So I just showed up Wednesday morning, and I got there about a half an hour after I wanted to, because it usually takes about half an hour to get an adjustment. But they are like 15 minutes away from my house, and I had to come back home before going to the doctor because I left a half an hour later. So I was I threw off my own schedule. I still had enough time to get to my appointment on time. Sorry, there's like a hair. I still was kind of rushing instead of taking my time. And that's my fault. But I was so excited that I couldn't really sleep either. So I kind of was like, I need a few more minutes of sleep. So went to the chiropractor. That went well. I just kind of wanted to make sure everything was aligned. And I felt good, and my back wasn't hurting, and my neck too, because I get like a pinchy feeling here all the time. So I finished there, and I had to rush home. I was supposed to, they told me, empty your bladder at 10 a.m. and then drink 40 ounces of water. Well, I have this big like cup, juggy looking thing. Kind of looks like a mason jar with a big handle, but it has a lid and a straw. And I filled that, and I jumped in my car because I was like, I gotta go. I hugged my husband. He was like, you know, good luck, and he hugged me. And then I got in the car, and I was like drinking water and driving. And I should have drank 2 of those, but I just didn't have enough time. So I get there. Oh, this is funny too. They're doing a lot of construction where this is, and I don't know my way around here very well. So that, and then the construction, like I'm following the GPS, and it's like, get in the far right lane. The exit was right after this big interchange, and it looked completely different than the last time I was there. And they had the lane, the far right lane was actually an exit only lane all of a sudden, but the GPS didn't have it written as that. It's just like you have to be in this lane from all their little, you know, there's so many lanes going across thing. And by the time I realized I needed to get off at the next exit, and this was an exit only, and it was going to the other freeway in the wrong direction, it was too late, and I couldn't get over. There was like all these big trucks on the side of me and trucks in front of me and behind me. I was just like pinned in. I was like, oh, it's okay, it's okay. I went down to the next exit, and I was like 6 minutes late. So it wasn't a big deal. I was still there before my appointment. I was there the half an hour, the like prep time. So I went and checked in, and I sat down, and they were like, maybe 5 minutes later, I was just like, okay, call me in already. Because I'm like, I know I'm late. You guys should be ready for me then. They called me in like 5 minutes later, and then the nurse had me walk in. She's like, you know, turn here. And I walked into the room in front of her, and I was a little surprised for some reason. I don't know why. I was thinking there was going to be a table, but it was more like a chair with stirrups. And I was like, oh, okay. And I knew that I wasn't going to be sedated, but it just, I don't know, it just caught me off guard. So she's like, you know, go in the bathroom, change, don't pee. And I'm like, all right. And she checked my bladder with the ultrasound. She was like, oh, it's only about half full. I'm going to have to press a little harder. I'm like, all right. And I have to wear these, it's these little patches, something else. I can't even remember the name of these patches. And they're kind of plasticky, and they're like right under, you have to put them on your belly button. And that's where she's pushing them like out, because they kind of hurt because they're plasticky. So like her pushing didn't hurt, but the little thing, it's like, it kind of was like cutting into me. I was like, oh yeah, that's uncomfortable. But it's like, okay, whatever, you know. And then she moved it, and I was like, okay, that's better. So she's like, all right, we just have to wait for the doctor. And I looked, and I could see what time it was, and he still had like 10 minutes. And so kind of next to me was the ultrasound machine, and then behind me was a monitor showing the same thing as the ultrasound screen. And then on the opposite wall of me, there was a monitor with a picture of my little zygote or blastocyst or whatever it was at that stage. And I think it was like a live microscope picture, like a video or something, because I swear it grew while I was watching it, because I was like, oh, it's so cute and tiny. And then all of a sudden we were chatting, and I looked at the bubble. I was like, wait, are there more bubbles? Like, I think a couple cells grew, and because it looked like it had more bubbles on top, and I was like, it didn't look like that a second ago. So that was kind of neat. I actually got to see it like grow. I mean, I could be wrong. Could just be a figment of my imagination, but I think it grew. So she went out to get the doctor, and I was sitting there waiting, and I'm like, la la la. And she comes back, she's like, you know, he's talking to somebody, he'll be in a minute. And then like 5 minutes later, she went to get him again, and I'm like, you know, I'm here, I'm calm, I'm not in a hurry. You know, it still was barely almost my time. I think I had like 1 or 2 minutes before it was my appointment time. So I'm like, it's right. Well, it ended up being like 15 minutes after when he finally came in, and I still was like, you know, I'm not gonna like get up and yell. I have like no underwear on or pants. It's like, I'm gonna take that little paper gown, they call it, or drape or whatever, and like walk out there. It didn't even go around my whole butt. So I'm not gonna walk out there and be like, excuse me. I mean, I'm just like, I'll wait. What else am I gonna do? And we were chatting. So it was like having a nice chat with somebody, because, you know, we're all in, well, I don't know about you guys, but my husband and I don't go out much. So we don't really talk to other people. So it's like, oh, a human to talk to. That isn't my husband. And I like talking to him, but, you know, it's nice to talk to other people too. So the doctor finally came in, and it was kind of like getting a gyno exam, because they put the little thing in you. You know, he was just like, this is going to be uncomfortable. And I was like, oh, it totally felt like just regular gyno checkup for a second. Then they put a catheter in, and I could still see my egg, but I was like, you know, I want to see what's going on there. So I looked over and I saw the ultrasound machine, and I saw him put the catheter in, and then he calls to the other doctor. There's a room right next to us where they have their little lab, and I kind of feel like it's round, and they have a couple rooms around this little lab thing. And the other doctor comes in and gives him the egg, and then you could kind of see it like pop out of the catheter, and then the nurse moved the ultrasound wand, and he's like, no, go back and go slowly. And he's like, okay, yeah, there it is. And I was like, yeah, I saw that the whole time. I don't know how he lost it. I had my eye fixed on the little thing, and I was like, it's right there, right? And he's like, yeah, it's this. And I was like, okay, cool. So they gave me a picture of what my egg looked like right before that I saw on the monitor, and then they gave me one of when they dropped it in. I shared those on Instagram, so follow me on Instagram for things that I'm not sharing here. And I'll pop them up in a second. So then, so then they had me relax for a few minutes. They're like, you have to sit here for 5 minutes. And let me go back. So right after the doctor put in the egg, him and the other doctor, they were both talking about what a great egg it was, and like how beautiful it was. And it was just like, okay, that's cool. It kind of was like reassuring. Because there's some women, they'll have like what's called a mosaic embryo or blastocyst. I can't remember, but it's mosaic. And what that is sometimes they have, like when they've tested, there might be some irregularities in the testing, but they're not 100% positive that the entire embryo is gonna have DNA issues. So it's like kind of iffy, and they can't say, yeah, this is a great egg, or no, this has like, we had 6 eggs, 3 were good, 3 were bad. They were like very, yes, these are gonna work and these aren't. But some women, it's like, well, this might be missing something, or it could be just that specific cell, not necessarily the whole egg. So like that wasn't a problem with us, and they were just like, oh, it's beautiful and stuff, and they just kept saying that. So I was like, oh, shucks. I was like, yay. So that was like really reassuring. And then, you know, just sitting there waiting for a few minutes, the other doctor kind of chatted with me for a second, and with the nurse. It was really funny because when he first came in, I swear he had like a southern accent. But as he talked more, I was like, no, he sounds English now. That was weird. I was like, did I not hear him properly the first time? So then at 5 minutes, she's like, okay, you know, you can get up now. You can go put your pants on. You can pee. I was like, oh, yay. And they also gave me a piece of paper that said, you know, you have to rest for 5 minutes and then you can pee and stuff. And basically go about your day. There's nothing special that you need to do afterwards, or things to avoid besides avoiding regular pregnancy things, like, you know, don't smoke or drink or whatever. And I don't really do those things. I never smoke and I rarely drink anyway, so it's like, it's not a problem. So I got home and I just felt like really calm and just kind of wanted to just relax, and like I just grabbed the blankie and cuddled on the couch, just kind of watched stupid videos on the internet, and it was like, you know, just things that kind of make me laugh and stuff, and just had a really relaxing day. And that's kind of how I've been since then. Like every time I'm thinking about like, oh, I want to make a video or something weird goes on, nothing bad, just kind of weird, and it like throws my day off and I end up not making the video. And like even today was like that, and it's like it's almost 8 o'clock now at night, and I'm just like, I'm doing this. I put it off, and I want to edit this before I tack on what happens tomorrow, because I'm going in at 9 a.m. for the test. I won't know till the afternoon, but I want to have time to edit the video. So I just got the results, and the baby doctor called and she was like, can I talk to you and your husband? And I was like, yeah, hold on. And I was trying to get him. He has headphones when he's in the office, so he didn't hear me yelling for him. But I got him, and he's like, oh, baby doctor. And he rushed out. He came out of the room. We were like in the living room, and I'm like, okay, you're on speaker, go ahead. And she's like, I have your results and I am pregnant. So okay. I was totally crying too. It was like ugly crying, like mascara just running down my face. I had to like touch up my makeup because it was bad. And then she said my HCG level was 95, and I was like, great, because I'm thinking out of 100. She said it was good, but it's supposed to double like every day from kind of like here on out. And I have to go back on Monday, and they're going to check. And then the following Monday, which she said was a holiday, I don't even know what day it is anymore. But so I'll probably go the next Tuesday. After that, I have to go again, and they just monitor my levels, make sure that it's where it needs to be. And I also have to continue wearing the patches and doing the progesterone shot in my rear, which is why I'm like, oh man, I thought, oh, it's done, I don't have to do this anymore. But no, you have to continue that. She's like, you have to do it for about another month. I'm like, okay. So I have to get a refill on the patches, because I just have until, I just put them on yesterday, so I wear them tomorrow and then the next day, and then I have to change them. So I do need to call and get more of those. And then the progesterone, I have a couple days of that left, but that one was easy to get. It wasn't like some of the trouble I had with some of my other medications, like driving an hour to get it. So everything is on track for May the 6th, and hopefully nothing crazy happens, or, you know, I don't have a miscarriage in a week or two or anything like that. But I mean, with the baby, the egg itself and the embryo and everything being healthy before implantation, I shouldn't have a miscarriage. So we're still going to be a little leery of things, but we're excited. And I'm not sure, I don't think I'm gonna really have any updates, because you don't need to know about my blood test. Just like a 2-second video for that. Like, I don't need to make a whole YouTube video for that. But if you follow me on Instagram, I will make an update there. And I probably won't have another IVF update for a few weeks, because I have to do the blood tests, and then I'll go in for my ultrasound in a couple more weeks. So when I do the ultrasound, then I'll have another update, because then I'll have a picture of my little baby growing, and it'll be big enough to, it won't be that little dot that you just saw a few minutes ago in the video, where it was just like, it looked like fuzz on the screen. So, but I'll try to do some other kind of video to be entertaining in the meantime. I don't know what yet. I have to figure that out. But anyways, I'm very excited, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.